Time is a crazy thing, so here's a list of television shows that ended in 1995, 30 years ago. First up, Mantis, the show which holds the distinction of having the first black superhero in live action on television. The show aired its last episode on March 3rd, 1995, though technically the final two episodes did air on Sci-Fi later. Though those episodes were shot in 1995 and had our main character fighting an invisible dinosaur which pretty much killed him. With everything else getting remakes and rebrands or whatever, this is a show that needs to be brought back. It's been 30 years. It's about time. Yo MTV Raps aired its last episode in 1995. This was a staple for any hip-hop fan and had been running since 1988. And because of the fact I didn't have cable growing up, I only got to really see this in the last seasons when it was only airing on Fridays for a couple hours. The final episode, which aired in August of 1995, featured one of my favorite all-time freestyles with KRS-One, Rakim, Salt and Pepper, Method Man, Redman, and a host of others just like in the background. They don't make them like this no more. So please tell me I'm not the only one who remembers when Darkstalkers got its own cartoon. Now this was very loosely based on the video game of the same name, and this was actually my introduction to the game. It wasn't until years later that I played the game that I realized how much this had actually got wrong. Like the fact that the main character, who was a descendant of Merlin, was completely created for the show. And that Morgan and Dimitri, who actually worked together in the show, were like bitter rivals. The show was pretty much good monsters versus bad monsters and like aired in syndication, so anyone barely saw it. But the fact this actually existed. Speaking of cartoons that didn't match the source material at all, who else remembers Wildcats? The main thing that sticks out about this show is the damn theme song. Wildcats, Wildcats, it's good against evil. Which featured the Wildcats who went up against the Damonites, and they were two different alien races that were fighting to save the Earth. And at this point in time, Image was like the thing, so this was like the first Image cartoon. And I remember originally watching it thinking, this is cool. Did it reviewing? Yeah, it did not age well. Especially once you learn how drastically all these characters are from their actual comic counterpart. Trying to get on that X-Men vibe. This show only lasted about 6 months and ended on January 21st, 1995. Almost 30 years to the day. Ghost Rider aired its final episode in 1995, February 15th to be exact. This show was a staple for any of us that didn't have cable and grew up having to watch PBS shows to entertain ourselves. The show followed a group of kids who had a ghost come back through time or something like that to help them learn how to read and write and save the day and solve mysteries. It was the 90s. And though the show only ran since like 92 to 95, it had some crazy cameos and guest stars. Samuel L. Jackson was originally the father of this character, Jamal. A young Julia Stiles was in the episode. Spike Lee guest starred one time. And the final episode will stay with people forever. Attack of the Slime Monster. Scarred a whole generation.